This is a video testimonial for myself with regards to the Divine Clinics. Let me start by saying a huge thank you to what the Sheikh has done, not just for myself but for my family as well, over the period of now just over 2.5 years since I was introduced to them. Either I found them or they found me, but either way the changes have just been incredible. Before I met the Divine Clinics, things were difficult. So I had a period, I used to go through periods where I used to get depressed very often, particularly during the winter months with my job being stressful. It was very, very difficult, a very difficult time. So it could be from day to day, one day good, one day bad, and things were not good. Home life was struggling. I used to start to feel very lonely inside, really sort of not connected with anyone or anything. And as time went on, it seemed like I was becoming a little bit more sort of reclusive over time. I used to have nightmares over a period of time. So this went on for decades, on and off. Constant nightmares at night, to an extent where there were times where even going to sleep was a little bit scary because just didn't know what to expect at the time. I also had snails following me. So when I lived in Leicester, I noticed that we used to get snails in the hallway. I didn't understand where they were coming from. There were no gaps. I came to live in London, and because I was living in a flat, I was getting snails in my boot of my car. And then when I moved house again, I was getting snails on the outside of the door. So, this was linked to slowing me down. So basically, whenever I was trying to do something or go shopping, I noticed there was a massive heaviness pinning me down. Particularly if I was going for a walk, I could not walk quickly anymore. I couldn't run at all. I could not even run a few steps for the bus. So it was like a huge weight, like something had got hold of me or pinning me down, and it's as if I was stuck. I just couldn't get out of it. It was like being bit like being trapped in a nightmare. I used to go and visit people, like close family, and they'd notice over a period of time that whenever I left, things would be happening to them. So as I seemed to be having like things not working for me, or what we might call bad luck, it was rubbing off on them as well. When I was working, I noticed I used to have a lot of mental blockages. So I'd be typing away, then all of a sudden I would stop typing and I wouldn't be able to type quickly. I would just be able to type one letter at a time. My brain just wouldn't process the information. My brain was completely foggy. It would not operate normal or as normal. I used to come up with business ideas on a regular basis over decades. And I'd come up with an idea, I'd want to move it forward. The following week I would come up with the same idea, I'd make a list. The following week I'd do exactly the same thing. And this went on for 20, 30 years, and I would never be able to move forward, not just with the business, but with anything I was actually trying to do. I felt completely trapped in my own self, so I could not move forward at all. Then the Divine Clinics got involved. The Sheikh started to help me, which had been absolutely incredible. I saw changes with my wife's health condition, my son, who suddenly changed. When the Sheikh started to do the cleansing, I noticed the following day in the morning, early in the morning, I noticed a calmness had descended on me. It's not something I can explain. I've never experienced anything like this before. It was as if nothing could affect me. It was an incredible peace and calmness. I noticed my son was laughing in his sleep that same morning, and this was from the night before when the cleansing had started. And then we used to get a lot of noises in the house, so noise here, noise there. The noises disappeared. I mean, within 24 hours, I couldn't hear anything at all. And then over a period of time, as the weeks went by, I started to see changes in my wife, my son, myself. I started to walk quicker. My knees started to move faster. I could start to jog a little bit, to an extent where I started to go back to play football, and I could run again. Also, my mind was clear. My mind now is very, very clear. I started to think much better. I started to come up with ideas and follow them forward. I started to type much faster. Work wouldn't get in the way. I was able to separate everything from my work life to my personal life. the changes were just unbelievable. And as time went on, I started to just get better and better, and I started to feel calmer within myself. So, like I said, probably about 2.5 years now, I feel brilliant. Things are working out fantastically well, not just for myself, for the family, for my wife, for my son, my father-in-law, who the sheikh treated with cancer. I've got two relatives in Paris, my uncle and my auntie. They recently had their cleanse done. They were having a lot of issues because my uncle was choking, he couldn't eat properly. He was eating like a baby. My auntie had a heaviness and she was feeling down. And now within a week or two, my uncle is massively happy. He's no longer choking. He's eating normally. He had lost in excess of 12 kilos. He's starting to put weight on again. He's so happy. He's watching football. He's back to normal. His heartbeat was very, very slow, but his heartbeat is back to normal again. That's within a week. He is enormously happy. My auntie says to me she feels lighter. She doesn't feel tired as she did before. She can't believe the changes in her household, and I could see more changes coming up very soon. Thank you for listening to my testimonial, and if you have any issues, please come to the Divine Clinic. If I walked the earth even for 1,000 years, I would never find anything remotely close to the Divine Clinics and what they've done for me. Thank you.